An excellent video, Ali, and it pretty much mirrors my position when attempting to deal with what I see as um, the bigots, the extremists, the racists, the warmongers, the scapegoaters, and the sowers of discord on earth within the ranks of the Western liberal, free-thinking, atheistic, agnostic, irreligious, whatever you want to call it, secular community in my own ranks. Dare I say it, among white people. Although that's actually not correct. It isn't really a white thing, but I think you know what I mean when I'm saying this. A lot of people take me into their confidence when they decide they're going to say something horrible about Muslims because I am white, so that's essentially what I'm referring to. It's a lonely and frustrating road attempting to combat extremism, and probably it's a fight that simply will never end. There's no actual set date when we can say we have defeated extremism. It's just something that you constantly have to be more or less on your guard against and more or less opposed to all the time, because extremism, scapegoating, warmongering, all this kind of thing, it has a tremendous capacity to endure and to reinvent itself. Prior to 9/11, the present poisonous atmosphere in my community, dare I say that, but I think you know in what sense I mean that. The present poisoned atmosphere of denouncing Muslims, just horrible, dreadful things that are being said about Muslims, implications of attacking Muslims, this kind of thing. This would have been inconceivable before this. And it's only recently that this kind of thing has come to the fore, and it's repackaged itself, this kind of scapegoating, it's repackaged itself in the guise of science, free thinking, secularism, the Western tradition of the separation of church and state, science, all this kind of thing. But it's just the plain old bigotry of the 1930s all over again. It was latent. It stayed it had died down during the Cold War when it was another secular ideology that the West had set itself against. But now it's gone back to the old, the foreigner who has a different religion, a different outlook from us is the bad guy again. It's the old scapegoating. It's the other, who are the cause of all of our problems. They're coming in, immigrating to our cities and infesting our neighborhoods is often the implication. They're having too many children. They're outbreeding us. They have strange, funny customs. They're devious. They keep to themselves, which is kind of strange because you get accused of keeping to yourself if you keep to yourself, but if you try and blend in, you're infiltrating our society, so it's kind of a no-win situation. But anyway, that atmosphere would have been inconceivable to me, at least to my mind, 10 years ago, at least in terms of Muslims. But now it's come all into vogue, and it's turning essentially into the same old-fashioned scapegoating that I was referring to, and it's a repackaged version. But now I think people are starting to see it for what it is, all over again. People are starting to see that this kind of Islamophobia, this kind of hatred peddled by the loud-lunged people, certain politicians, certain, shall we say, comedians, certain people on YouTube, who think that they're being all intellectual and all Western and secular by simply standing up and denouncing Islam in the most base, pornographic, vile, bigoted way, the kind of denunciations that wouldn't be out of place in the worst Nazi propaganda of the 1920s. So, we're up against the same phenomenon, you and I, Ali. And as I say, I think we're in for the long haul. I would encourage you to go on the way that you're going. I have every intention of continuing the way that I'm going, and I'm not particularly worried about what it costs me in terms of the respective other free thinkers or atheists or Western secularists. I couldn't care less. Because if our secularism means anything, it means that we respect anyone else's right to believe whatever they want. So yes, I understand your frustration with the situation that you find yourself in. It really is frustrating, especially when you're attempting to make Islam more comfortable in the modern world, and you're dealing with people that want to drag it right back to a place where it was languishing. I see people trying to do the same thing with Westernism, with secularism, with free thinking. I honestly believe there are those of us who want to drag us back to something resembling the 19th century idea that if you're not white, if you're not Western, if you're not one of us, then you're a benighted savage. I won't go so far as to say that people are out and out Nazis or anything like that. But I would say this, and this is a frightening thought, but I believe it to be true. If by some chance the Nazis were to take over again in my country or in a country in the West, their most ardent supporters, intellectually, will be people from the militant atheist community. That is one horrific denunciation of a large group of people, blanket denunciation, and I won't say numbers-wise or percentage-wise, but I am quite convinced that that their most ardent apologists in an intellectual way will be the hardline, aggressive, atheist-type people. I won't say that it will be all of them. I won't even say that it'll be some of them or a great number of them at all. But I think that is the ideology that has the most potential for a severe perversion of Westernism today. So we're both in for one heck of a long road, and it's going to be a long, frustrating road. But it's a road that, I think that if you want a clear conscience, if you want to try to do the right thing, we have to tread, and I commend you for it. I'll do what I can to tame the wild beasts on my side, and on this side, and I think I can trust you to take care of business where you are. Well done, very good video, and all the best.